All right, best fan bases, McLovin. Well, there's also worse fan bases here. What is the criteria for NFL fan bases?
Okay, this is a study from Yahoo, and it has 3 categories: fan equity, social equity, and road equity. Basically, how active are the fans on social media? How do they travel? Those kind of things. And I don't know exactly how they judge each ranking, but I'll give you the bottom 5 to start, then I'll give you the top 5.
Okay.
Number 32 is the Tennessee Titans, which seems weird to me.
Okay.
They rank last in close to last in road equity, close to last in social equity. Their fans are not active on social media, and close to last on fan equity. So maybe it's market size. I don't know.
Okay.
Number 31 makes sense. The Rams, because they're newer to Los Angeles. I'm surprised that the other LA team is not lower. The Rams, I get because they moved, so that's probably the reasoning. Now, number 30, now we're way off the rails. The Chiefs. What? The Chiefs fans are crazy.
Do they travel, and what do they do with social media?
According to this, they don't travel much.
Okay.
Which makes it, I'm not sure I remember seeing a sea of red in most places.
Okay.
But
All right.
Then the Jaguars, 29. That's a very polarizing fan base. A lot of people think that could move, although Jacksonville fans are strident that it's good.
Okay.
Here's the one that really lit up the internet yesterday. The Cleveland Browns are 28th. Now, that's a passionate fan base. I find that ridiculous.
But do they travel, and what do they do with social media?
I think they're very, very active on both. I know they travel.
Shouldn't we give them extra points because they're the Browns fan base? Like, shouldn't it be graded on a curve?
Well, for example, the team ahead of them is the Chargers. Now, come on. That is a fan base in total flux. And I saw on social media, it said, go to a Chargers-Browns game. There was one last year, and half the crowd was from Cleveland. You know, it was Cleveland fans. There's no way the Chargers are a better fan base than the Browns.
Wasn't that game in Cleveland?
Oh, was it?
I think so.
At some point, I mean, it just feels ridiculous to say the Chargers, who just moved, there's no way they're a better fan base than the Browns. That's what a lot of people on social media were saying.
I wouldn't see that either. I wouldn't think that. Yes, Paul.
I want to go back to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's nuts. I've been to only one Chiefs game, but it felt really close to a college football experience. The tailgate, the fan intensity, and in a positive way. I don't know what the rationale is, but Kansas City Chiefs have a very good fan base. Very loyal. I know they can be nondescript on the field a little bit sometimes, but that's a good fan experience going to one of those home games.
But you're factoring in, do they travel? And the social media aspect of it is what I'm puzzled by, because what are they gauging that? How many followers you have on the team website?
This is how they describe
Twitter
it.
handle?
How passionate fans are in following their teams on social media across all channels. So maybe it's like which team has the most Instagram followers.
They're too busy tailgating. They're not sitting on their phones.
Yeah.
I mean, market size is clearly a factor here. I'll give you the top 5.
Okay. Let me guess. Let me see if I can guess top
please.
5. Okay. I'm going to throw the Steelers in there.
Yep.
I'm going to throw the Packers in there.
They're 9.
Whoa!
9's not bad, but
wow.
It's market size. That's got to be.
Okay. Dallas is in there.
Yep.
Patriots?
Yep.
Giants?
Yep. One more. Passionate. Lives for their team. You might say they
Eagles?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Polite is not one of the terms.
They're not.
One of the,
No.
So I threw this out there yesterday on social media. A lot of people said Patriots only because they've won all these Super Bowls. Now I don't think that should be a factor, but there is some allegations that Patriots fans have jumped on the bandwagon over the last 20 years. And in 1988 or something, you could walk into that stadium for $5.
Okay, but we don't remember the last time that they weren't a good team, a competitive team. So if that's the case, I can go back, in history to some of these other franchises. When the Cleveland Browns were winning, but we had no social media back then. So how can I gauge that in a fan base that it is great? Yes, McLovin.
Here's what I don't understand: the Seahawks are 17 now. When you are in the state of Washington on a Sunday, isn't it like a mini earthquake every time they play? It's the loudest crowd in sports.
Where is Denver on that list?
Broncos are 8.
Okay.
Saints 7, Bears 6. That kind of makes sense. The Bears are good fans, aren't they?
Do they travel? They travel to Green Bay. They probably travel to Minnesota. But how is their social media?
Where would you guess the Bengals fall? Your hometown team.
22nd.
26.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance.
No.
Vikings 24?
Do you remember when I told you when the Bengals were really, really bad? And I had friends who started something called the Zero Club. And you would go to Bengal games, and they were part of the Zero Club because they were losers, and they created something called the Zero Club. I think they had shirts, and they were sort of going there expecting the Bengals to lose. So it was the Zero Club. It might have represented how many wins the team had at the time. I don't know. Yeah, McLovin.
Here's an interesting one. Dolphins are 14. I've heard that fan base has been criticized a lot for not showing up.
That's very fickle fan base, I would think.
I've always thought that they sort of have a lot to do in Miami and they may not show up all the time.
What about the Raiders? Top 10?
The Raiders. No, the Raiders are 21. A team in flux, moving fan base.
No, I don't think that would affect you now. Would it? You got John Gruden coming to town, even though he's only there for a couple of years.
Such a national team. I mean, I see Raiders hats everywhere.
Yes, yeah. And they would travel down to San Diego, but I don't know how much they travel.
Well,
elsewhere.
when they left Oakland to go to L.A., did that divide the fan base up and vice versa?
It feels like you have Raider fans everywhere. And you have Raider fans in Los Angeles that are still loyal to them. And, of course, you have them in Oakland. And I was wondering how they felt the fact that the Raiders were going to move to Vegas. And, the Raider fans who called in that day or responded via a tweet, they were okay with it. They're like, that's cool. That's what the Raiders are. We're rebels. We're rogue. We'll go to Vegas and see them.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.